Okay, guys, welcome to this film study. It's a mini film study on how Cyborg and Holm handle elite level fighters slash strikers. I'm also going to show some different phases of Cris Cyborg game, and I'm also prove why Gina Carano was in fact a legitimate opponent for Cris Cyborg, because you have so many people, Cyborg detractors. What they try to do is they try to, minimize Gina Carano, but I'm just gonna state facts about Gina Carano when it comes to Cris Cyborg. So guys, if you do not like Cris Cyborg, this is your turn. This is your time. Cut the video off. Just cut it off. This is not a video for you, okay? It's not for you, okay? So stay tuned. Hadouken! All right. Okay, guys. In this first clip, I have Cris Cyborg and Gina Carano. Okay, for people that really they want to just say that Gina Carano is not a credible opponent, Gina Carano was a world Muay Thai champion. Okay, a world Muay Thai champion. That means that you were good. A world American Muay Thai champion. Okay, Gina Carano also boxed. So to say that Gina Carano wasn't a credible striker against Cris Cyborg is crazy, because everybody knew that Gina Carano had power. Okay, this was the biggest puncher that Cris Cyborg has ever faced right here. It probably would have been Jermaine, I don't know, because the fight never happened with Cris and Jermaine. But this, Gina Carano, striker. Now, let's go ahead and debunk this notion that Cris Cyborg is just going to come straight ahead. Okay, watch. Now, here's what I see. I see Cris Cyborg cutting off the octagon. She didn't rush right in. She didn't rush right in. She didn't do it at all. She's actually surveying the situation. She's trying to pick her spots. That's what she's doing. Okay? Now, Gina Carano met Cris Cyborg with a jab. And Cris Cyborg followed back up with a counter left of her own. And then she continued to just get in and get on the inside. Okay, this is what Cris Cyborg does. I mean, did anybody see her charge in there? No, she didn't. I mean, we got to stop this notion or this myth that Cris Cyborg just charges in. Cris Cyborg cut the octagon off. She surveyed the area, and then she started putting her offense together. Cris Cyborg didn't even start throwing punches until she got into mid-range. So we got to stop debunking this. Now, here's another myth. Okay, one more myth is that Gina Carano really wasn't good with the grappling, because Cris Cyborg really made Cris Cyborg made a mistake and pulled Gina Carano on top of her. No, Cris Cyborg didn't pull Gina Carano on top of her. Gina Carano used Cris Cyborg's weight against her. See, Cris Cyborg, let's watch this part, and I'll stop it when she. Okay, right here. Okay, now let's play that back. I'm gonna just play it back. Okay, just because people sometimes they miss stuff. But, okay, here's Cris Cyborg. Definitely not coming in. Definitely not barging in. Definitely not mauling her way forward. What is she doing? She's actually picking her spots, okay? She's cutting off the octagon. And Gina Carano isn't doing a lot of lateral movement at the time, so there's not much to cut off. But what she's doing is cutting off the octagon, okay? She's advancing slowly. She's not mauling her way forward. Man, that drives me crazy, okay? Gina with the left hand. We're looking at the sequence again. Cris is going in. Okay, now at this point right here, Cris Cyborg is attempting, she's going to try to lift Gina Carano up, rotate Gina in the air, and land on top of Gina. That's what she's going to try to do. But look, before Cris Cyborg can get this off, this is not Cris Cyborg botching the takedown. This is not. Cris Cyborg did not botch the takedown right here. Okay, Gina Carano, look, okay, Gina, she rotates her hips forward. As Cris begins to lift, okay, Gina rotates her hips forward, okay? Then she moves, she puts her right leg right there. So, in between Chris's legs. So, as Cris tries to lift, okay, Cris can't rotate. She can't rotate her hips around because Gina Carano has already rotated her hip into Cris. So Cris can't complete the takedown and rotate Gina around. Cris can't do it. Gina Carano completely turned this thing around before Cris got started. Okay? And Gina Carano did this more than once. Okay? She did it more than once in the fight. And I'm going to show you another example. Okay? Gina Carano, her MMA, her mixed martial arts background was superb. Okay? It was superb. Cris tried to get in there and try to take this girl down with raw power. Gina Carano used technique. And Cris Cyborg, she didn't fall on top of Cris. Gina Carano created this. She rotated her hip forward. Okay, guys, it's as clear as day. Okay, it's clear as day. And look what Gina does. Okay, immediately gets to full mount. Gina Carano knew exactly what she was doing. Okay, she knew. Okay, and this it's me trying to break it down. Okay, I'm actually showing you this because now we got to say, okay, what could Cris do on the ground? What could she do on the ground? Well, I'm gonna show you. Okay, here in this scene, you got Gina Carano giving Cris ground and pound. You got it. Oh, man, Cris was vulnerable right there. She was running right there. Well, okay, watch. Okay, watch what Cris, look. Submission. You see how long it took her to put that submission on? Cris is a black belt in BJJ, okay? Guys, we can't be stupid when it comes to this, okay? Like, she's a black belt in BJJ. If she's getting grounded, she's going to go for a submission. That's what she's going to do. She's going to go for a submission, and she put this submission attempt on Gina Carano in a matter of seconds. This woman is a skilled fighter. She's a dangerous fighter. And, again, probably the most dangerous woman in the world. Okay, so here's another clip. Okay, same thing. Cris goes for the same attempt. Look at what Gina does. Gina realizes, look, Cris is about to take me down. Okay, she's going to try. Gina Carano is going to do the exact same thing. She's going to rotate her hip into Cris Cyborg. Cris Cyborg can't rotate into the takedown. Gina Carano is going to be able to get the top position. She's going to get top control. Okay? This is by design. Gina Carano knew what the hell she was doing. Okay? All right, so we look at this. Here it is. Look, same thing. Gina Carano has a hip rotated into Cyborg. Cyborg can't rotate. Look where her foot is, guys. She did it the first time. Cyborg cannot rotate. So I guess Gina Carano did this twice, right? I guess Cris Cyborg, this trained BJJ expert, pulled Gina Carano on top of her twice, right? Right, good, yeah, great. Stop it. Okay, stop it. I mean, we need to stop. Okay, Gina Carano was a credible opponent for Cris Cyborg, and this was indeed a tough fight for as long as it lasted. Then Cris began to overwhelm Gina with the strikes to the body and the strikes to the head. If this fight would have went 5 rounds, this fight would have been probably the most, like, this fight probably would have been the best fight in women's MMA history had this fight could have went 5 rounds. Okay, next clip. Okay, now this is Cris Cyborg versus Marloes Coenen. I want to show y'all again. Is Cris Cyborg, is she mauling her way in? You know, when people tell me that Cris mauls her way in, I laugh because I know that they don't study the sport and they're definitely not watching Cris fight. No, they're not watching anything. Okay, so Cris is picking spots and cutting off the octagon. She's got her hands extended so she can catch any kind of jabs or anything coming in that she can't see. Okay, Cris, low leg kick from Marloes Coenen. Okay, Cris pulls back. You know, Marloes hits the inside of her calf. Cris comes in with the right hand, okay? She set that up. Okay, let's keep going. Watch. Boom. I mean, Cris started lighting up. Boom. Okay? Cris set all these shots up. 1, by cutting off the octagon. 2, by feinting, okay? See, guys, Cris Cyborg's skill set is good, and this is back when she fought Coenen in 2013. This is 4 years ago. Can you imagine how she's evolved? And we can't say, well, you know, Cris fought another smaller person. She didn't. Marloes Coenen was a featherweight. So we got to stop with the nonsense. This woman was good. She took Cris Cyborg to 4 rounds, okay? And Cris was in a lot of bad spots when it came to grappling. Marloes Coenen in the clinch. I thought Coenen won the clinch battle versus Cyborg. I thought she did, okay? This woman gave Cris Cyborg the toughest fight of her career. And I think Marloes Coenen in her prime could defeat Holly Holm, okay? See, I've always said that when you are a one-dimensional MMA fighter, when you're one-dimensional, what happens is you're going to get somebody in there multi-dimensional that's going to win. Now, as a one-dimensional fighter, you can win, okay? You can win, you can get victories, but Eventually, what begins to happen is these multi-dimensional MMA fighters, the ones that's got many dimensions to their game, they end up, actually beating a person that's one-dimensional. And that's just how it is, okay? Let's go to some clips of Holly, how she approaches. Let's go to the clip of Holly and Ronda. Here goes. Okay, so here's Holly Holm and Ronda Rousey, okay? Let's look at how Ronda approaches a fight, because people keep comparing Ronda to Cyborg, and this is really baffling, okay? But I'm gonna go ahead and let's get this in there, okay? All right, so here's Ronda Rousey and Holly Holm, okay? Look at what Ronda's doing, okay? Ronda is trying. Look at this, y'all. It's funny. Ronda actually thinks that she can stand at this moment in the fight. She thinks that she can box with Holly Holm. And, Holly already know, like, okay, I'm finna feed this girl with so many hands that she ain't gonna be able to take it. Like, Ronda was being so arrogant in this fight, like, I can actually stand with this girl. I mean, she's sitting there hopping around, like, Holly probably thinking, oh, man, this is food. But anyway, bam. It was easy. She had her hand down, okay? And then, of course, Ronda, trying to be a boxer, which she not. She came back, and she's still standing in there. Oh. Okay, at this time, it pretty much should have been like, okay, it's a wrap. Hold on, let me get this back off full screen. At this time, Ronda should have like, nah, I ain't finna box her no more. I'm done with that, okay? Now, what does Ronda do? She began to follow Holly Holm around the octagon. You guys think Cris Cyborg gonna follow Ronda around the octagon? I'm sorry. Do you guys think Cris Cyborg is gonna follow Holly around the octagon? Cris Cyborg ain't finna do that. Guys, come on, man. Come on. Ronda and Cris, they're two different people. Ronda is straight back and forth, I keep telling y'all. And look, she following the girl trying to throw a punch. Guys, this is poor boxing. You can't follow somebody and then you try to throw the punch because she's already away from your lead hand. Okay, she's already away. She's out of distance. Hey, Holly was like, it don't even matter if I circle into her power hand, her right. Ronda got now her right hand powerful, and she did clip Holly a few times, and she staggered Holly. Ronda got some power. But, man, it's like, oh, look at this. Holly wasn't even worried about her, man. And then she go back to following her around the octagon. Look at this, y'all. Look, bam, bam. Look, man. Look. Cris Cyborg isn't going to do that, y'all. God almighty, boy. Okay, let's go to the clip now against Holly versus a high-level striker. Okay, here you have Valentina and Holly, okay? Now, Valentina's a high-level striker. I'm gonna debunk 2 points right now with this. Number one, okay, people like to say, well, Cyborg only fights bigger people, smaller people, okay? And she's picking on these small girls. Well, okay. Now, Holly took this fight because that's the fight that they put in front of her, okay? Holly has never been a person to turn a fight down. She's never been a ducker, okay? So let me get that out there. But if we want to use this, okay, Valentina is undersized. She's a smaller girl. Valentina is the smaller woman in this particular fight. Holly technically is fighting a flyweight. So let's just go ahead and debunk because Holly fights some smaller girls as well, okay? One of the top, unfortunately, Valentina is one of the top strikers in the world. So, this is like, this was easy work for Valentina. And let's just watch to see how Valentina handles an opening versus like a Ronda Rousey. Okay, so look, at first Valentina thinks that Holly is going to retreat. Okay, but Valentina's going to figure out that Holly not really retreating, she's just fainting. So Valentina is going to stand her ground. Look at that. You see how easy this could have been, like if Ronda would have employed some of those tactics? Valentina's just going to stand her ground, keep Holly Holm in front of her at all times, okay? She's at a range, so now if Holly tries anything slick, Valentina can see the punches coming in. She can counter appropriately. Valentina, being a smaller woman, she definitely not trying to lock up with Holly Holm or trying to clinch. That really wasn't her game. Even though she got into some close quarters with Holly in this fight, she had a few takedowns on Holly. The first two takedowns that Valentina did, you can tell the strength of Holly Holm because Holly was able to get back up. The third takedown, Valentina was able to keep Holly down, but it's just Holly is so big and much bigger and stronger than Valentina. But look at what Valentina chooses to do. See? Again, you see Valentina chasing Holly around the octagon. No. And Holly Holm already knows that, her going around the octagon, that's not going to work on Valentina. She can't, like, Valentina is not going to bite on that. She's not going to follow Holly around so Holly can throw counter shots at her all day. Okay? This is the difference when Holly is in there with an elite level striker versus, like the Ronda Rouseys of the world. Okay? Or the Betch Koheias. Okay? Look. Okay? Again, Valentina is not biting on that. So Holly was like, okay, I got a real striker in front of me. You're going to have to fight her. Okay? There's no other option. You got to fight her. Okay? And then Valentina comes in, trying to get some points. Valentina's a point fighter in this fight, but does a lot of countering. See? Again, look, y'all, over and over, over and over, over and over, over and over. Do y'all see how Valentina approached this versus how Ronda would do it? What do you think Cyborg going to do? Cyborg is an elite level striker. How did Cyborg do against versus Carano? She cut off the octagon. She set up the shots, okay? This, to me, is pretty much telling. But I'm going to show y'all one more, okay? I'm going to show you one more what happens when she faces an elite level striker and how Cyborg faced it. Okay, here's another high-level striker in Germaine de Randamie, okay? And let's look at how Germaine chooses, and how they first take the initial, I guess, feeling each other out process and vice versa, okay? All right, look at what Germaine is doing. Okay, notice Holly already knows the lateral movement ain't going to work. She's going to try. Germaine is not going to follow Holly Holm around the octagon. See, notice what Germaine did versus Ronda. Notice what Valentina did versus Ronda, okay? So what is she going to do against a high-level striker? Okay, let's just see, okay? Germaine not following Holly around the octagon. She's actually keeping Holly in front of her. Germaine is just easing forward, and she's cutting off the octagon. See, these Muay Thai fighters, these high-level strikers, notice how she was able to just do whatever she wanted against Ronda? I mean, notice that and how she was able to move side to side. She was able to just circulate the octagon the way she wanted to. She can't do that against these high-level Muay Thai strikers. She can't do it, man. She can't do it. Just to keep showing you. See, now Germaine already know body kick. Straight up, body kick. Germaine just, didactically pressed the action, okay? Like, she just pressed the action. She did it with some grace, and she did it real smooth. Germaine de Randamie is a slick fighter, and she made it look easy. She made it look very easy. Okay, again, I have to say, because, Cris Cyborg is a high-level striker with a Muay Thai background who's definitely more technical these days. What do you think she's going to do in this situation? And what do you think Holly's going to do? Guys, this is the end of this video. I just wanted to, show some points. Point number one, I wanted to show that Cris Cyborg fought two credible MMA fighters in her career. The second point is I wanted to show that Cris Cyborg didn't always fight the smaller person, okay? Gina Carano and Marlos Conan, these were definitely fighters that were her size, okay? So that debunks that whole notion that Cris beat up on all smaller women. And I also wanted to show that Holly has fought a few smaller people. Well, I only showed one, but she's fought about 3 or 4 in her career that technically should have been in another weight class. Again, this is no fault of Holly's, but I'm saying that I'm using this to argue my points, okay? The next point that I wanted to establish is, Holly Holm, what she does against high-level strikers and what she does against somebody who is not a high-level striker like Ronda Rousey. I mean, that she's not going to be, and these people saying, well, Holly's going to be able to do this because, she did it with Ronda, and, yeah, I know the fact is that, anything can happen, and they're right. But for these people really need to break the fight down, okay? You need to break the fight down. And when you look at the fight and you look at, what she's going to be able to do versus what she's not going to do, guys, it's crystal clear. It's crystal clear. But this is your boy, Coach Shelton Harris, and I'm done. What are you waiting on? Subscribe to the best women's MMA platform on YouTube.